Oh boy. Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great evening. It's been a very busy day for me, and I like it like that because you get up in the morning. I have to have stuff to do, and if any of you know me or been around me on a regular basis, you know that if I don't have something to do, I literally will go stir crazy. And that is the honest to God truth. That's why the red brick house has been good because, I wake up first thing in the morning. I just keep working and working and working. And before I know it, the day is gone, but I can look back and I can see things I've accomplished. And so we got back yesterday, early afternoon, time to stream the Eagles game, at least the first half of it. I actually wish I'd watched the whole second half because the Eagles were imploding. And I've got stuff that, if you've been married, if you've got a significant other, you know how I'm sorry, my fire pit's not working and it's been pouring down rain. I've got to change the supply hose for the propane. So here, let me see about, okay, there we go. All right, let's see how long I can hold this here. If you have a significant other, you understand the honey-do list. And we are building the red brick house without actually a plan other than what's in my head. And I've had in my head how to do the kitchen and fix the walls and things like that. And now we're into the next phase, which is the details, the decorating and all that. And my wife is more trial and error. And so, we built bookcases and stuff. And she said, those look great. How about we get another one over there? And can you put it in today? And it's like, I need to go home and build it. So I've actually built all the pieces for a whole base cabinet, glued together the pieces for the countertop this morning, sanded it out, and packed it up because it's raining, because tomorrow morning we've got to meet a friend of ours on the way down at 7 a.m. So we got to leave at like 5:30 in the morning. So all day today, I've been busy trying to get these pieces and stuff together because it's a short week. In case you didn't know, we're not playing New Year's Eve. We are playing actually Saturday. And so we've got a short week, which is why the Cowboys had the injury report out early this week, and so far we know that Hankins did not practice, and we know that Tyron Smith did not practice. That doesn't mean that Tyron Smith doesn't play, although I'm kind of at the mindset of winning these two games would be great. It'd be great if we could get the second seed or the third seed, but at the moment, that means nothing if we don't have Hankins and Tyron Smith. I would rather be a fifth seed with a healthy Tyron Smith and Hankins than being a second seed without those guys. Now, maybe I'm crazy, but that's the way I feel. For me, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science at all. And unfortunately, the die is pretty much made right now for what the Dallas Cowboys are. The Dallas Cowboys, you gamble, it's like shooting craps, okay? Once you let go of those dice, there's nothing you can do about it. You've already picked the number you are going to shoot. And that's the problem, or that's what the Cowboys decided. The Cowboys decided we want a defense that is fast and physical, that can get to the quarterback. They looked at it and said, if our offense can score a lot of points, we'll make teams one-dimensional, and we can turn the dogs loose, in which case we have one of the best pass-rushing teams. The problem with that is you have guys that are fast, and for me, I understand this completely, okay? When I was at JMU, okay, first of all, I tore up my knee in high school, tore my ACL. Back in that day, they were just beginning to use the orthoscope. And at the time, they basically said my ACL was like 2 mop ends. And what they did was they just trimmed it up. And they said, down the road, you can probably get a reconstruction as the technology gets better. Because this was literally, if it had been a year before, I would have had a scar from here to here, like that, where they would have cut open my knee and it had been 2 years of healing. So I gave up football after my high school season, or any dreams of it, and I focused in on track, throwing shot put, discus, and I wanted to be a decathlete when I got to JMU. My freshman year, the coaching staff, Chalice McMillan, was fired from JMU, and they hired Joe Przicki. And we had a coach, Coach Jones, who, interestingly enough, had been with the Cowboys. Charles Speedy Jones was his name, or at least in the training camps. I probably like practice squad or something like that. But he got both of his wrists broken, and that ended his football career. But he was the defensive line coach, and he recruited me to play nose guard. Now, I was about 210 pounds, and I was fast. I could run a 4.6 40. I was strong. I could squat, full squat, 550, okay? And he said, with your strength and your speed, because I was like, bro, I'm too small for this. Now, understand, there weren't really 300-pound people playing the NFL back in the day. But he said, with your speed and strength, he said, you can do, you can shoot gaps, and your quickness will help you out, which was true. And that's how I got recruited to play football at JMU. And I was on scout team. And that's how I started out till I worked my way into getting some playing time. Be that as it may, when you had me shoot the gaps, when it was gap control, where it was like literally, this is my spot. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And as soon as the ball snapped, I'm shooting there. I could get past the center and the guard because I was fast. The problem was, if it was a running play and I got a double team coming through, I'm getting launched into the secondary. And that's the problem for the Dallas Cowboys defense. We're light in the ass except for basically Hankins and, of course, Mozzie Smith. And Mozzie still has some work to go. And for those out there that are saying he's a bust, understand it's hard to come out the box as a rookie and just be great. There are few and far between guys like Micah Parsons. There really just aren't. You're lucky if you can get one of those. But typically it takes more time for a guy to develop. So that's in lies the problem. And if you look at the Dallas Cowboys in the course of their playoff failures, you can point to two things directly. Two things. Running the football and stopping the run. When it becomes playoff time, it's harder. A lot of times it's bad weather, especially if we're going to be on the road, going to Philadelphia, in January possibly. It's cold. Talking about going to, some of the places, if you're talking about Green Bay like we have before, it's cold. It's windy. You can't throw the ball the same way. San Francisco, not quite as cold, but there's some angry mother uppers out there. But when it becomes playoffs, you need to be able to run the football, to be able to run out the clock, to be able to control the tempo of the game, and keep the ball away from the other guys. And we've had a big problem. People always look at Dak Prescott and say, Dak Prescott's failed in the playoffs. He can't carry the team. Well, it's pretty hard to carry the team. I went back because I did a live stream earlier today with my buddy Game Time Brian. Shout out to the mailman. Definitely check out his channel. And I was pointing out, because people say Dak always sucks in the playoffs. I don't know if you can say 3 TD passes and 304 yards and going toe for toe with Aaron Rodgers is a bad playoff game. I don't know if you can say, 4 TD passes against Tampa Bay is you can't do anything in the playoffs. But what's interesting is when you saw that Green Bay Packer game and you looked at the numbers, Zeke Elliott averaged 5.7 yards a carry, which is unbelievable, which is exactly what you want to have when it's playoffs. But after that, the playoff years, Zeke, 2019, I think it was, 2.7 yards a carry. And last year, 2.3. When you only run the ball for 65 yards rushing for the whole game, and your quarterback's getting 28 yards of it, typically you're not doing too good in a playoff game. That's the first problem. The second problem, which has always been the Cowboys' bugaboo, is stopping the run. because teams end up running the ball against us. You can think about us back against the Rams a few years ago. We couldn't stop them on fourth down. Jared Goff runs and gets the first down. Todd Gurley, no, it wasn't Todd Gurley. I can't remember who it was. Todd Gurley was nicked up, I think. But regardless, you look at this, and teams that run the football in the playoffs do well. Now, at this point, the die is cast. There's not a lot we can do to change those narratives. You've got the guys you got. There are no big free agents out there or trades you can make now. You have to do the best you can with what you have. The two things that give me hope is, even against the Miami Dolphins, now, I know it was a loss. I know we got beat. But here's the thing. We only gave up 91 yards on the ground without Hankins to the number one scoring offense in the NFL. We only gave up 22 points to the number one scoring offense in the NFL. CeeDee Lamb had a better game than Tyreek Hill. That's fantastic. If you can get Hankins back in there and you get Mozzie Smith a little bit more reps, and maybe he'll be a little bit better in the rotation, the defensive front can be better at stopping the run. Running the football. The Cowboys have run the ball a little bit better recently. They did start using Hunter Lipke on short yardage. The problem, I think, there with the fumble is he just hasn't had any experience in the pro level. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of time to get that done. And there's not a lot of practices or real practices. Most of the practices now are just walkthroughs. So that is what it is. But this past game, Rico Dowdle, I don't know why we didn't use him really in the first and second quarter. I think that rotation there will help you. We've seen the Cowboys using some of the speed and reverses with guys like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, which have gained big running plays. And these are things that the Cowboys are going to need to do. And of course, we're going to need to call a better game plan. I still have no idea again, why we didn't go to Rico Dowdle, a little bit more running with him in the mix, because when we've done a good mixture with like Rico with about 12 carries and about 15 for Tony Pollard, we've had good success with it. It's kind of like what last year was with Zeke and Tony when it was really effective. I still don't understand why we just forgot about CeeDee Lamb in the second and third quarters. We cannot do that. And that's on Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer to remember. You got to use that guy. You have to use him. You have got to use your playmakers to make plays. I would rather lose trying to use my playmaker than to keep him in the garage, so to speak. So that's my hopes, and that's my thoughts on where we are and what we need to be able to do. Again, there's not a lot you can do as far as changing any personnel. The only thing you can do is try and basically coach better. All right, good people. I am going to go to bed early tonight because I am getting up about 4 a.m. so I can finish getting the truck loaded and hit the road. And we'll be back at the Red Brick House. And hopefully, Game Time Brian, he's off this week, so maybe we'll get another midday report with him. What a day. If you are a fan of the Red Brick House, of what we've been doing there, I did something today. Took a little extra time. I've been trying to do. I've got so many different things I have to do. And don't forget, if you're interested in going to the Commanders game, you know, we're less than 2 weeks away from that tailgate, which means I got to start getting my shit together for that. If you're interested in being part of our tailgate and joining us and stuff, send me an email. There is a post in the community tab in there about getting tickets, and get your tickets soon. There's parking passes and things like that. It's $199 for the game ticket, section 3, 315 is the section we'll be in. It's club level. No extra fees on top of the ticket. And the parking pass is $50 in the red zone lot. I did a video for Joe Boo's day job, and I got to hurry up because I've got 5% left on here. I did a video on Joe Boo's day job of the red brick house. And what I did was I married up the first time I walked through that house with walking through the house now. And so you'll see where it was and where it is now. And I think it's an incredible video. And it literally, looking at it, is mind-blowing to me. Remember, good people, tell the people you love how much you love them. You might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you in the morning.